Good Thursday morning to you. Drew Richards coming to you from the Weather Center with a quick weather update. Recording this just before 10 a.m. Central Time, again on Thursday. Looking at current radar here this morning, we've got several strong thunderstorm areas from northern Kansas down through southwestern parts of Missouri into central Arkansas. We've actually got some flash flood warnings in and around the Little Rock area that were just issued a few minutes ago for some training thunderstorms. Looks like that flash flood warning goes until about 11:30 a.m. Central Time, and again, it does include the Little Rock metro area, so watch out there for some heavy rainfall, some flash flood issues again around Little Rock this morning. But going right out into the afternoon hours, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a kind of a double barrel level 3 for today. So those orange shade of colors you see there in northwestern Kansas and in northern Texas into southwestern parts of Oklahoma, that's that level 3 enhanced risk out of level 5. Strong tornadoes possible in a couple different areas today. And we also have a level 3 risk now introduced for tomorrow. Kansas City up to Omaha. That is a pretty significant tornado threat that we're tracking for Friday. And finally, if that's not enough, there's your Saturday severe weather threat. A large level 3 already issued from North Texas through central Oklahoma up through to the Kansas City metro area and including the Wichita area as well. So we've got storm chasers in place, as you can see on the map, for all of these days of severe weather coverage. Let's go ahead and look at the details from the SPC really quick. Again, that's your categorical risk. Look at your tornado threat. So there's your tornado risk for today. Highest threat for tornadoes, again, there in that yellow shade of color, western Kansas looks like to be the bullseye for the most significant tornado issues for later today. Looking at your hail threat for today, significant hail, very large hail, anywhere in that yellow shade of color. And then when you see that yellow outlined in the red, that's what we call a hatched significant hail, very large hail, over 2 inches in diameter. Anywhere you see in that hatched shade of color there with that little moving circle going around it. So Amarillo down to Lubbock, all the way up to western Kansas, southwestern Oklahoma, even northeastern Colorado, like we talked about on our live show last night. Very, very large hail possible in these areas. And again, quickly looking at your significant tornado threat, there's going to be your bullseye for some possible strong tornadoes later today. Scott City, Kansas, down to Garden City, down to the Ness City area, all the way over to Hill City, Colby, and Oakley. That is going to be kind of the bullseye for the potential for these strong, long-track tornadoes as we get later into the afternoon and evening hours today. I-70, again, from Colby, Kansas, over to the Hayes area, looks to be bullseye. Now, we may have tornadoes outside of that area. Again, don't ignore that. But that's where we have the most significant risk of these big EF2 or greater tornadoes for later today. Quickly, let's go into the models for this afternoon, because the models continue to kind of go back and forth just a little bit. Well, this is the morning run of the HRRR. This is the 12Z. And notice we've got the morning storms like we've already talked about going this morning. And then as we go throughout the afternoon hours, we'll see a break like we always do. And then more showers and thunderstorms will develop rapidly late this afternoon. So here we go. 7 p.m. supercells ongoing northwestern Kansas. Looks like those may start to form as early as 4 o'clock Central Time today. It's a little bit earlier than what we talked about last night, so we'll have to be watching northwestern Kansas and the northeastern parts of Colorado. 3 to 4 p.m. Central Time for some possible supercells exploding. Look at that random supercell in northeastern Oklahoma as well that we'll have to watch. When you see those little tracks there, those are rotation tracks or helicity tracks that our model is depicting. Now, that doesn't always mean we'll have a tornado with that storm, but that does mean the model thinks those are going to be rotating supercells as they're moving through northeastern Colorado and northwestern Kansas as we get later into the afternoon. As we get closer to that 7 p.m. hour, again, a cluster of supercells with possible tornadoes there in northwest Kansas. And then as they cross that warm front, moving to the more cool and stable air, they will weaken as they move up into Nebraska. But again, rotating supercells possible all the way through the late evening and the overnight hours as that cluster continues to move north. Then around the midnight hour, we expect more showers and thunderstorms to develop there in North Texas, southwestern parts of Oklahoma. That will bring a damaging wind, very large hail, and some embedded tornado threat to central Oklahoma overnight. Make sure you got your weather radios on. Make sure you've got your cell phone apps loaded, that if you get a tornado warning in the middle of the night, you'll know to wake up and take shelter, because, again, this is going to be a after midnight deal for most of central Oklahoma with that round coming through. Going through tomorrow morning, showers and thunderstorms weaken like they always do. And then as we go throughout tomorrow afternoon, this is midday around 1 p.m. Central Time. Notice what happens in southeastern parts of Nebraska and parts of southwestern Iowa. Supercells erupt once again. This is valid at 5 p.m. tomorrow. And you see those tracks going once again, just like today. So again, tornadoes possible tomorrow in that enhanced risk area we discussed. We'll look at that again here in just a minute. Eastern parts of Nebraska and the southwestern parts of Iowa, maybe northwestern Missouri, northeastern Kansas as well. And those really go all the way through the evening hours. Des Moines, you'll be under the gun during tomorrow evening with kind of a cluster of supercells moving in somewhere between that 7 and 10 p.m. hour. Tornadoes, again, possible in and around Des Moines tomorrow evening, so we'll have to keep a very close eye on that, just, again, depending on what happens and what plays out with that HRRR model run. There's your day 2 risk. Again, highest threat for damaging wind, large-hail tornadoes, Kansas City up to St. Joseph, Omaha, and all the way over to the Des Moines area for tomorrow. And then, like I said, don't ignore Saturday. Saturday may end up being the bigger day of all of the days from central Oklahoma, North Texas, up through Wichita, up to Kansas City. We got to get through today. We got to get through tomorrow, but don't let Saturday slip up on you. So we'll talk a lot more about Saturday once we get through these next 2 days. But right now, just stay weather aware. We'll be here in the studio later today tracking these thunderstorms as they develop. We'll go live on the Live Storms Media YouTube page whenever storms erupt, and we'll start bringing you live severe weather coverage with all our chasers out in the field later today. So real quick, there's your day 1 outlook again for today, Thursday. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk to you later this afternoon.